This video is about an important timeline that gives away that I'm right about how things work and that other people are basically crazy. First of all, let's ask ourselves, how did we get to this point where I have 21, now 22 witnesses, to them sabotaging me, trying to make me look like a second-rate scientist, trying to change my pictures and videos to make me seem homosexual, putting red on my lips, changing my voice patterns, etc. with technology and poisons and fumes. Remember, with 22 witnesses. Again, the third time I tell you, 22 witnesses. And people are still trolling me saying, take your meds. Should the 22 witnesses take their meds as well? People are convicted with 1 or 2 witnesses. I have 22 witnesses. Okay? All right. So why are they trying to make me seem like a second-rate scientist? Well, it has to do with white supremacy and what Western culture was founded on. Western culture, when we look at the Greco-Roman myths, right? Zeus and Ganymede, an example and a model for pederasty, child molestation, turning out the choir voice, so to speak. Okay. Also a model for homosexual relations. Okay, and also rape. Zeus was a rape deity. He raped all kinds of people, like Leda, Callisto, Europa, Persephone, and on and on and on and on. Okay, so the culture is designed after the model of organized rape, child molestation, and thievery and pederasty, and also taking on other identities. Zeus morphed into other identities. So the governing class of Europe, they want to take on identities, regardless of who they are. They want to take on the Jewish identity. In fact, the Roman version of Zeus and Hera is Jupiter and Juno. Both names start with Ju. Juju. Juju in West African, culture is witchcraft. So these are witchcraft Africans who migrated through the Middle East into Europe and became the governing class of Europe, and then bred the white race in general. Okay. So that leads us to Masonry. Masonry at some point, long ago, 1400s, I heard 1300s, long ago was founded in England. Okay. And they worked for the governing class. They were the builders for the governing class, the social engineers, the literally building buildings as well, secret passageway, and all kind of cute little rape rooms and so on and so forth. Okay, for the elite to do their pagan rituals. I'm sure we can all agree that's mainstream history. Okay, so then Masonry migrates to America. In 1776, many of the founders of the Declaration of Independence were Masons, and they're all rich people. Thomas Jefferson owned 15,000 acres in Monticello, whatever it's called, okay, and so on and so forth, okay? So that's 1776. In 1808, Johann Christian Rehl coins the term psychiatry, and they called the runaway slaves, they said they're mentally ill if they ran away from the plantation. So they're already saying, in a very dramatic way, that if you run away from white culture, and you're black, that you're mentally ill. And of course, there's all kinds of black people starting to wear wigs and starting to assimilate and earn their freedoms in various ways, leading up to the Civil War. Okay? In 1865, the Civil War ends. In 1883, so 1865, the Civil War ends. In 1883, okay, Francis Galton, Charles Darwin's cousin, who's a statistician, right, statistics, he's an explorer, okay, he's a Mason, and he has all kinds of scientific degrees, and he's praised in the scientific lodges and the Royal Society, and on and on and on. Okay, he coins the term eugenics, which is about impairing the racial qualities of other races and improving the white person's racial qualities to argue white supremacy. And this is part of why they segregated sports, because they're trying to create the image of a superior race. Okay, these eugenics, again, in 1939, 1945, they find their way to Europe, to Germany, and they start a war where they try to make a global white supremacy, Germanic supremacy society under the Nazis. Okay? So again, that's 1883. But before that, in 1908, okay, before the Nazis emerged in the 20s and then started the war 39 through 45, or 44, 45, okay, the FBI was started in America. And lo and behold, here we go again. It's a Mason. Okay, it's a Mason who starts the FBI. I believe it's Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt starts the FBI with Attorney General Bonaparte and J. Edgar Hoover, according to the internet. Okay, I'm almost out of time. They're making noise outside, so let's shoot through this. Okay, now I don't think it's a coincidence they're interrupting my video at this time. They have a way to kind of communicate with people and kind of remotely controlled. It's a long story. Okay, I'm sure in 2021 you know that they're using technology, and they're a bunch of frat nerds and Silicon Valley geeks using the cute technology to interfere with my video. You can imagine that these truths are potent, and people are too cowardly to tell these truths and too cowardly to tell the truth about who I am. All right, so anyway, that brings us to 1947, where Truman starts the CIA. Okay? Now, before this, okay, let's go back a little. 1908, FBI started by Roosevelt. The second Klan in 1915 was started by William Joseph Simmons, and it faded away by 1940, and that's where we reached the golden age of fraternities. Make no mistake, fraternities are sniveling, racist, beta, gang up on an old black lady and hang them historically, paint their faces black and mock black, just complete cowards. Only people with inferior genes join fraternities. Truly, I tell you, it's like being a serial child molester club. Only people with inferior, so help me, inferior genes join fraternities. Only foolish females that have never grown up date fraternities. Look at American Pie. Look at Scary Movie. Did the fraternities come out and say that's not how we are? Or are they exactly like that? Immature as hell. Kappa, Beta, Alpha, less than a high school cheerleader, less than a junior high cheerleader in terms of maturity. And these people place the future leaders of this society. Okay, college frats, skull and bones, Masons, okay? Assorted, sniveling worms in the Pilgrim Society, Club of Rome, in Bohemian Grove, Bilderberg. Just horrible, just terrible people. Terrible people. Okay? These people are worse than Caesar. Terrible people. These people couldn't even refrain from persecuting me, even though they dominate the world to such a degree. So the golden age of fraternities was a bunch of second Klansmen, 4 to 5 million Klansmen, morphed into fraternities. And when the third Klan came, there was only 8,000 members. So 4 to 5 million Klansmen left the Klan because of the infamous, I believe her name was Oberholzer, rape on a train by a powerful Klan politician, which appalled them and spread kind of dissent, and they left and they joined the other fraternities like the Oddfellows, the Knights of Malta, the Masons, etc. So the Masons on record are generational Klansmen and their allies. And the fools who join social clubs and do business with them and sexual control with them and do eugenics with them. Social engineering, sexual control, okay? Biology and demographics, biodemography, okay? Social Darwinism, okay? These people are horrible people. They couldn't even refrain from persecuting the Son of God even when I don't have a chance to overthrow him. And is the evidence of Western terrorism in society? Yes. You see all these white guys with their trucks acting all mean and their big wheels. Okay, you see these Satanists and these biker gangs, these prison gangs, and these minority gangs who are modeled after Masonic. In fact, one of these gangs called Hoover Criminals. And J. Edgar Hoover started the FBI. And gangs are notorious for snitching on each other and being FBI assets. Okay, you are an idiot if you don't know that I'm right. Okay? They're probably snitching up a storm right now. Gang stalkers, it's even called gang stalking. Because organized crime, street gangs, biker gangs, they help them do it. It's one big frat system. You call this conspiracy. One of these guys said on record, if anything significant happens, it was one of the Roosevelts or something, if anything significant happens in politics, you better believe it was planned that way. He was the president and he was a Grand Master Mason. Okay? You think that's a coincidence? Okay, there's a bunch of beta, sniveling, scary movie, American Pie pussies and business square trash ruining the world at record rates. And now they have technology and they're acting like complete, sniveling cartoon bitches. Not a man among them. Okay, why the fuck don't you people as groups man up? I stand on my own 10 toes as a man. No one helping me out. As groups, when you put your heads together, you can't man up? Who could respect that? Who could marry that? It's pathetic. It's pathetic.